Hey, Jocko, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How about yourself, Art?
I am good. I am good. Thank you so much for taking the time. Congratulations on the a new season of my favorite show, New Amsterdam, which just came in, and what an amazing episode, man.
Oh man, thank you so much. I'm really excited. I'm so glad that the cat's out of the bag. Reynolds is back. I could be free and post freely, and that's been probably the most difficult part for me because I love social media. I love posting that when I'm on set and stuff,
Right.
and I've had to hide this for a year.
Yeah.
So it's good to be back.
Right, right. Okay, that's cool. It was very exciting to see you at the end. We only got a glimpse, and there's still I'm seeing article question about is he coming back? So I guess those are the cash lines. But can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, did you know going in last season that you're coming back or not? And how did this all play out?
Yeah, it was planned actually in season two that Dr. Reynolds would leave, like completely leave. And this is when the writers told me this. I was like, "Excuse me, what do you mean?" He said, "No, you're going to leave the show, but you're going to come back." And so that was the plan, but it was only going to be for like a couple of episodes. You were
Okay,
still going to see him in season two, and then the pandemic happened, and that 2 to 3 weeks turned into a year.
gotcha.
So yeah, and it's we
Cliffhanger.
couldn't we didn't get a chance to come back and wrap that up. So now, and I think it's the writers have done a good job of staying on their toes and dealing with the ramifications of the pandemic and bringing the show back, and it's just incredible the amount of talent that they have.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. As I was saying earlier, I absolutely love the show for its stories and the diverse, beautiful stories it tells in a wonderful NBC way. Needing your tissues in your hand,
Mhm,
but
absolutely.
such human stories and all that. And the opening episode did great job yesterday. I feel of showing us what has happened. Like I think one of the best interpretation the first 5 minutes and everything and what
Mm.
it's doing. So can you talk a little bit about that? Like is that gonna continue from what you're seeing so far, and how from your knowledge how your character has been affected by the pandemic, and how anything you can share about that in terms of pandemic?
Yeah, I feel like the writers had, particularly on this show and the timing of us coming back, had a big challenge on their hands. Um, they had to start writing these episodes, gosh, early in the pandemic, before the summer, and we initially thought that we were going to be airing on in the fall, but NBC had different programming ideas. I think they needed something to lead into the Olympics, so when they moved us to March, we had to really sort of kind of look ahead and guess. Number one, we didn't know who was going to be president. We didn't know how seriously the virus was going to be taken. We didn't know if it was going to spread. We didn't know if we'd have a vaccine. And so, kudos to them for being able to say, okay, let's bring up the pandemic. Let's have that be the backdrop, but let's continue to deal with the things that the hospitals actually are dealing with. We have cancer patients. We have pregnancies to deal with, and we in hospitals. You have infections and accidents, and these things didn't stop. So while you will see our characters deal with the ramifications of the pandemic coming out of 2020, they very wisely kept the ball rolling forward, and we explored other things as well.
Right, right. That's yeah, exactly. The show's so beautiful, especially in these times. Honoring the heroes and kind of showing their that's the power of storytelling, right? You get to see what you don't get to see. That's what I believe, at least, right? That's the kind of
Mhm,
stories I want to write, and that's the kind of stories I want to see. And that's the
mhm.
magic of story that this show is doing, which is great. Before I jump into a little bit of my favorite conversation about diversity and inclusion, I have a question for you. My Anupam Kher, who I always say is, my uncle from India. I'm so excited. To be honest, the reason I started watching the show was because of him, because he's in, and then of course the show sucked me in. That happened to a lot of Indians, South Asians, of course, right? Because that's the power of characters.
Absolutely.
You gonna fix him up? You gonna?
I um,
You're gonna have to wait and watch.
I, I'll say that yeah, you definitely have to wait and watch, of course. But I just love Anupam. I love Anupam so much, man. He's just such a joy to be around on set. He brings so much light, and he's so fun. And I'm honored to work with him. Regarding whether or not I will be able to fix him up, um, I would say that's always a question, and not only for Anupam, but for all of our characters on our show. Uh, no one is safe. Um, I mean, you saw in season one when we had a big cliffhanger, and someone we knew, one of our main characters, was going to perish.
Right.
It turned out to be Georgia, Max's wife, and that was. I mean, that just started this whole situation with him and his daughter Luna, and so the writers are always toying with opening those doors and creating scenarios with Reynolds. Was he going to come back?
Mm.
And so no one is safe on the show, and we like to have that pulse going all the time on this show, and a show such as this. I mean, it really keeps you on the edge of your seat, especially when you get attached to characters. You just never know. But talking to the writers and reading ahead, I go, ooh, there's some interesting things that might happen.
Right, right. Well, yeah, you got one Indian doctor, unless you want to replace him with a younger, better looking one. Uh,
Oh, that's okay. We'll have to listen. You just send me your resume, Art.
I, I will take you on that. But talking about that, right now, getting into third season, how's it? And from beginning, you're a creative with a lot of good experience, not just doing this, but playing doctors as well, right? So, but anyways, jokes aside, are you? How's it? How's the collaboration with the writers? Is there like? I'm always curious about that. Are you guys able to like discuss a little bit and especially on set, is it all completely on the on the dot on the script? Is that how the show keeps you, or are you able to improvise a little bit, both with
the
writers
door
and
the door is always open with the writers. They've let us know that if there's something that we want to discuss or bring to the table, they love to hear ideas. But I'm of the mind, and I think the cast in general is of the mind of just let them do their job, because they do it so damn well, first and foremost. And I like I like to take the ride as a fan to see where things go. I don't want to influence that too much. But I did have David Schulner in season one call me up and get my input on some lines that my character said. And we kind of rewrote a particular scene in a monologue together. That was such a change of pace from what I experienced before in the business. And that just was very relaxing and comforting. As far as improvising, um, I, I come from theater background,
right?
and what words are in the play, you say those words. You don't adjust that in any form, and that's not always the case with me, particularly because TV moves so fast, and
Right.
I like to kind of learn my lines more or less there on the set, so I won't always get them exactly right, but my intention is to say everything that's there on the page. um, Other people who shall remain nameless, Tyler, uh, uh, he improvises a little bit here and there. He adds a little, and you got to be careful when you're doing a scene with him, because he might throw some things in and throw you off. And I
Right.
think he's damn brilliant at it. A lot of people can't improvise, and they therefore shouldn't. But if you ever said something that was a little bit too far, we have a director that will different directors that may say, hey, let's try a take here that's just the script, so they can have some things to choose from. But he's so good at improvising. It's always fun when you're doing the scene with him. So that's the only reason I'll give him a pass, because he's good at it.
Does he improvise?
Who?
Anupam.
Anupam, no. Anupam, from what I have seen, definitely does not. He is very professional, and says all of the words that are there on the page. He's good, damn good.
He's a star in India. If you guys probably already know.
Oh, we
Very
we
humble.
very
He's very humble,
we
but I spoke to him once, and I don't know how many hundred films he has done in any way. I mean, it's crazy even for India. It's not normal.
I trust me, I know. We know because he tells us.
Right,
I
no,
love, but
good. That's good.
he
That's important for
it's
us.
no, it's, and I'm glad that I learned that about him early on. I like to know sometimes the company you're in. You know, I didn't grow up in India or South Asia or in Europe to know his body of work. I had seen him in a couple of things, including Silver Linings Playbook, and I had been a fan. But the magnitude, the impact he's had on so many different communities around the world is just mind blowing. And even if he never said a word about it, we couldn't go to any dinner anywhere, step out anywhere here in the city of New York without somebody coming up to him
Yeah,
and showing him love. And the type of personality he has, there are actors that they give off a vibe that you know not to go up to them.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
not the case for Anupam.
yeah.
He puts that vibe out like it's okay. He wants a hug from you. He wants a picture with you. He'll take his time, and it's amazing. I'd say I try to be the same way. So I can't say that I learned from that, but it's just also, you know, very fascinating and loving to watch.
Right. My dad is a huge fan. We were at an event together, an Indian event. He didn't get to take his picture. He's still upset about my dad. So I guess this summer when he's here or whenever, if Anupam is around, I got to get him a picture with Anupam at least, if nothing. So my dad is
Absolutely.
a huge fan. But we
Oh
can
man.
think of other things. But coming to the meat of the conversation, which is this show, but in general with your own experience, you know, diversity and inclusion has become a huge conversation. But as we all know, there's a lot that needs to be done. More people are preaching it than doing it, but you know, I guess this is one of those shows that does it, which is amazing. So what's your do you have any words on that? Where what's the state of diversity and inclusion right now? And you know, from your own experience of working with NBC, right, multiple shows at this point, and other things. Any inspiring words for young actors looking to get in? Because you know we feel inspired seeing you and seeing this fantastic cast. But what's our shot?
Well, I think now's the time. Now more than ever, I've seen more opportunities for myself and many people of color. Um, there's no better time for you to create, to write, to come up with concepts, ideas. To if it, because sometimes getting an audition, you know, it's can be virtually impossible, regardless of whose time it is. I'd like to encourage young people to write and create, which is something that I wish I had done more in the beginning of my career. NBC has just been fantastic. I sometimes call them NBC, the National Black Channel, because it's so refreshing to turn on this network and other networks as well, to see so many people of color represented. I think that we still do, like you said, have a long way to go. I think that we could see some people of color in some of the leading roles. Some of the leading roles we still see the same sort of prototype. But you know, they're filling in all the guest stars and all the a lot of the other regulars with people of color, and that's a big stride. As far as our show in particular, man, they have tackled it from the beginning. I couldn't be prouder of the things that they have come up with. Some I agree with, some I disagree with, but they have that conversation moving forward. We're always discussing it, and we will continue that this season. This season, we'll tackle some of the issues outside of the pandemic that we have experienced over the past year.
Okay,
Black Lives Matter will come up.
that
Racial justice will come up. And what's interesting is the way we bring it up. No matter what side of the political aisle you're on, I think you'll come out of all of these conversations and these episodes with yourself being informed and entertained. A lot of times, you know, you're going to find Reynolds in a situation that's humorous regarding Black Lives Matter, which I am so excited about that. So it's fun, and I'm so proud of these writers and this show and this network for the strides they've taken.
oh, that's absolutely so damn important. I don't know exact makeup of the writers' room, but I'm assuming they do have diverse writers room for if they're telling diverse stories. I hope, but the stories they're telling have been very inspiring, which I really admire. And that was my second question. You kind of answered that. Are they getting in those? It's been a tremendous year. Besides just the pandemic, right? So, and a show like this, I would expect it to, not ignore that, but to bring that up. So I'm looking forward for those stories as they're coming. Little bit off of NBC, and there's a little bit fun questions. Are you open to playing Blade?
Oh, yes. I don't
Or
think
the
it's a
Wolverine?
possibility.
As I'm
I don't think.
looking at you, I'm not kidding. I was looking at you. I'm like, I'm seeing Blade and the Wolverine. So,
Like
if
that.
you could play any superhero in MCU or DCU, let's put it out in the universe. Are you interested in any? And if you are, what would you like to play?
Yeah. Naturally, I think of black superheroes. There was a black
They need to start making
green.
Black Superman, man. I mean, come on. I'm like,
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I was gonna get there because I normally I go to I go to Spawn, I go to Blade, I go to the Green Lantern, the version of the Green Lantern. I'll say this: I've not seen. I've seen a black comic book version of the Green Lantern, but I haven't seen one on screen yet. And if they don't go with my friend LaMonica Garrett or Tyrese or Michael B. Jordan, I'm here. I'm here for you.
right. I can definitely see you as Wolverine, and that I'm. There's a lot of cast talk about recasting, and I want to see like a person of color playing Wolverine. Now there's so many talented actors like you, right
Yeah.
here. I can see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank
I
you. I
think
appreciate it. Yeah. I listen. I think the sky's the limit. Why not? Well, it doesn't. It seems like there aren't many. A lot of the rules have been broken. The tropes and the ideas of what a hero should be, and we should keep going. But how about this, Art? How about creating some new heroes, some new characters?
great.
I know it's very. It's to the benefit of studios to go with a fan base that's already built in. Um, but hey, I hear they're doing a sequel to Hancock with Will Smith. I'm excited about that. So yeah, man, I think that we should come up with some new characters too. I want to see. Look, just speaking of superheroes in general, to see in my lifetime to see 3 or 4 different installations of Spider-Man, to see 3 different people playing Hulk. Uh, it's a lot. They're recycling over and over again. Let's dig deep in the annals of the catalog history. I'm sorry, comic book histories, and come up with something or create something new.
Yeah, I'm on it. I'm writing a few things, and you'll hear about it. I will make sure I do myself. But creating stories is important. So last question, any if you could talk to a 20 years younger you, what would you say? And also, I mean, keeping in mind how what the young generation now can hear from your experience of
Yeah.
being in the industry for so long and doing the work.
Well, I would say, I mean, there's so damn many damn things. That's a good question, but I would say from an artist perspective, um, let's say you do what I do. Let's talk to actors. Uh, right, right, and let's talk to people who are not just actors, but boom, there you go. Let's
I
talk to people who are not just actors and say this: you have to get out of your own way. The biggest the biggest hater that we have. We all talk about haters. The biggest hater we have is our own voice in our head that says we're not good enough, or now's not the time, or oh, I'm not ready, or they won't like it, or I'm too short, or I'm too dark. Stop all of that stuff. I have literally damn near almost talked myself out of jobs that ended up for 5 years because I didn't feel like I decided that I wasn't right. And so I had to be talked into going back in because I didn't think I'd get a part and end up getting a part. And we got to get rid of that voice in our head. We got to start really believing in the effects of believing in ourselves.
right.
You just got to give yourself a shot. and enjoy those no's. I thank God that I've just been so able to embrace the no. Like it, you get as an actor, you get mainly no's. You get mainly no's on Brad Pitt's rise to get where he got. He got more no's. What if he just took one of those and said, this isn't right for me, you
Mhm.
know, or Denzel or anybody. I always took my and you know what kept my nose in perspective, my nose, not nose. What kept those in perspective are my little mini victories. I remember when my teacher in college said, "You could be great. You're not great yet, but you could be." And I never forgot that. And I was like, wow, and it just felt so good. So anytime anybody gave me something that was aligned with the path that I wanted, I remember those things. So when I got a no, I just like, oh, I put that up, but remember what my teacher said. She said, I'm not great, but I could be. And so I hang on to those. So to my young people, get out of your own way, get rid of that voice in your head, be thankful for the no's, and embrace and remember all those little mini victories and write.
Thank you so much. I mean, this is so inspiring to me as a writer myself. It's very, very inspiring what you're just saying. But I can't wait to read and see what you write. You have a beautiful way with words, sir. And I mean, I never had seen you speaking as I'm seeing right now, and you have a beautiful way with words. I can't wait to see what you write.
Art,
Absolutely.
likewise to you. Thank you so much. I'm just now starting to do that. I'm enjoying it, but you're on the right path, my brother. Kudos to you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks for everything you do. Looking forward to more from you. Jocko, thanks a lot.
Absolutely. God bless, man. Talk to you soon.